It's a Friday and we are enjoying ourselves. We are really catching some fun, but we also have to care so much about our health because whatever that happens to us, our health really matters. Just as we will be going into the weekends and they will be hanging out, we'll be chilling, we'll be eating some meat and then drinking some beer. There's a need for us to talk about health issues. So this morning, as we informed you earlier, we'll be talking about the BMI, Body Mass Index. With me in the studio, we have nutritionist Helena. Good
Yes.
morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Yourself?
Very well, thank you.
We're excited to have you in the studio
Thank you.
so that this morning we can talk about health, body mass index.
Right.
But first of all, let me ask, what is the average body mass index one must have?
Okay, I'm thinking that you're referring to the ideal body mass
The
index.
ideal body mass
Okay,
index.
so for an ideal body mass index, we are looking at a BMI of 18.5 to 24.9.
Why?
Why? Because actually BMI, like you said, is body mass index, and it's an indicator for the amount of fat you have in your body. Okay, so we need to know the amount of fat we have in our body because when you have excess of it, it has some health implications. So, for example, if one is overweight or obese, which is a disease, we take overweight for granted, but obesity is actually a disease. When you have obesity, you are likely to have a heart attack, you are likely to have stroke, you are likely to have high blood pressure, diabetes, if especially your fat is concentrated in the central region, that's your stomach. So it's very important for us to know our body mass index.
Okay. So what causes an overweight? Because I saw my research informed me that it should not be more than 25.
Yeah, so 25 plus is overweight, and if it's 30 plus, it's obese.
Okay. So what causes it?
Yeah, so food is part of our lives. Okay, so if you are eating more than you are expending, you are going to be overweight.
Okay.
Because your body is going to store the excess fats, and the body stores fats from our proteins, which is usually our meats, our fats, the oils that we eat, and then so our proteins and our fats, and then carbohydrates. When you have too much of that, the body stores all of that as fat. So
Okay.
that's when we become overweight. So we need to, we have average intakes, but you see, everyone is different. You might eat a bowl of fufu, like two of my first, and you'll be fine. Another person may eat the same thing and they might be overweight because your activity level is different from theirs, and the way your body uses energy might be different from the way my body uses energy, and we call that your metabolic rate. Okay, so we need to, the fact that we say that, okay, you should probably eat an average of about 1,800 calories doesn't mean that it applies for everybody, and that's why it's important for us to see the nutritionist for a personalized diet plan, especially when you have a problem.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, talking about the ideal BMI, my research informed me that the 18.5 to 24.9 kilogram per meter square is for between 18 to 65 years.
Okay.
Now, somebody below the age of 18, what should be the ideal BMI for such person?
Okay, for such persons, we use what we call percentiles.
Okay.
So for 2 years, for children older than 2 years,
Okay.
we use the percentile. So if the child is below the 5th percentile, the child is underweight. 5th to less than 85th percentile is ideal, and 85th percentile to the 95th to less than 95th percentile is overweight, and the 95th percentile upwards is obese. This we call it percentile because we are looking at the weight of the child in relation to other children.
Okay.
So it tells where the child falls when you compare the child to other children.
Okay.
And we use the percentile for that group because they are still growing, and because they are growing, their body fat varies with sex and also with their age. It
All right.
changes,
All right.
and that's why we use
Okay.
percentile for
Okay.
such children.
Then again, 18.5 kilogram per meter square, but I am 35 years or 40 years, and I am below the 18.5 kilogram per meter square. So what is wrong with me?
You are underweight.
I'm underweight.
Yes.
And what are
So I said earlier that if you are consuming more than you are expending, that will make you overweight. So if you are underweight, it means that you are expending more than
you have
consuming.
to consume.
So it may be a metabolic problem. It may be that the person doesn't just eat enough food, and that could cause underweight.
Okay, so what could be some of the effects of an underweight? We'll come to the effect of overweight, but underweight, what could be some of the effect?
So we don't just eat, we eat to live, and we eat to live well. So not that we eat everything we feel like eating. So if you are underweight, it means you are lacking some nutrients. So the proteins that are supposed to build your body up, you are not getting them. Carbohydrates that are supposed to give you energy, you don't have them. Fats help our bodies, our membranes. They have the different works they do. The vitamins in our foods, the fruits and vegetables that we eat, they give us vitamins, they give us minerals. The vitamins, some of them are called antioxidants. We call something free radicals. These are stuff that roam about, I'll say, in our bodies because they probably don't have any good thing to offer us. And so when you eat fruits and vegetables, they kind of get rid of the free radicals, and these contains vitamins. That's why they are able to do that. So if you are underweight, you are likely to lack some of these nutrients, and so definitely health-wise, you are lacking over there. So it's important that if one is underweight, they see the nutritionist, they'll have them nutritionally assessed and see how best they can help them to eat well.
Earlier on, you said that when you are overweight, it could cause some heart attacks.
Yes.
So when you are underweight, what kind of attack could that one to cause?
Okay, so when you are underweight, there isn't one cause. For instance, if I say that if you are centrally obese, that's if you have excess fat in your abdominal region, you are likely to be diabetic. That's not the sole cause of being diabetic. Okay. In the same way, when you are underweight, there are predisposing factors. Like I said, someone will look at you and they'll say that you are not having enough food. There may be underlying factors. There may be some metabolic problems. It's possible that the person has some other condition that does not make the person eat well, or that's causing the person's metabolic rate to be very fast in such a manner where the bodies are not working properly. So it could be anything at all, okay, when one is underweight.
So it's really about the metabolism.
Yes.
Okay. Let me inform you that we are having discussion on health. So you can also call through. You can also call through to also ask questions, perhaps something you do not understand. So we activate the phone line so that you can call through to ask something you don't understand. We are talking about the body mass index, and this is calculated using height and
yes, the weight in kilograms divided by a square of the height in meters.
Okay, so that's how it's been calculated. So perhaps you've gone to the hospital and then, or you have something to ask about this very thing. You've gone to the hospital, they've given you BMI of so, and so we have the nutritionist in the house. You can call through to ask your questions, and she is ready to answer you and perhaps give you the assistance that in her position she can give you. So let's look at effect of being obese.
So effects of being obese, like I said, even socially, people will laugh at you. If you don't have your own car and you sit in a public transport, people don't really want to sit with you, especially if you are going to share some seats. So socially is a problem. And also, even for women, before you get pregnant, there's a healthy pre-pregnancy weight you should have, depending on your height, like the BMI. We use the BMI. And if you are obese, especially centrally obese, you are likely to be diabetic. There's also something about the neck circumference, but we can talk about that later. And we have high blood cholesterol. You see, high blood cholesterol usually when you are taking bad fats. So that one does not really have to do with overweight, but if you are overweight or if you are obese, you are likely to have high blood cholesterol because you are taking in excess fat. So what type of fat are you taking? If it's usually animal fats, if it's usually foods that are fried, over fried, you are likely to have high blood cholesterol. So that could.
So which one is the bad fat?
Animal fat.
Animal fat is actually the bad fat.
Yes, and there's something we call trans fat. It's the way the oil is processed. It makes it trans fat. So that's also very bad, and it's not good for us. It can increase the cholesterol levels in our blood. And cholesterol forms something we call plaque in the blood vessels. So because it forms plaque, it narrows the blood vessel, and there is pressure when the blood is going through the blood vessel. And once there's a break, maybe some of the plaque gets broken, it can block the blood flow to the brain. That can cause stroke.
So it can actually cause stroke too.
Yes, high blood cholesterol can cause stroke. So if you are obese, and some people are skinny, but they have high blood cholesterol, it's probably because of the type of fat they consume. And if you are not exercising, you know, when you exercise, it helps to reduce the amount of fat in your body. It helps to increase the good type of, we call something LDL cholesterol, and we have HDL cholesterol. HDL cholesterol is the good one, and when you exercise, you tend to increase the amount of HDL in your blood, and that also protects you against
which one is
high
the
blood
LDL?
cholesterol. That's bad cholesterol.
Okay, and so with that, how would one get this bad cholesterol in the
Animal
system?
fat,
Still the animal
not
fat.
exercise and being sedentary.
Okay.
Yes.
And not taking past enough vegetables.
Yes, because the vegetables help to that's one way. That's actually the way nutritionally to reduce blood cholesterol levels. Fiber. That's why we encourage people to eat, for example, oats, to eat vegetables, because that binds to the cholesterol and is taken out of the body.
Okay. So besides this, do we have some drinks that we are going to the weekends, and people like some people take a lot of beer and other assorted drinks. Do we have some drinks that, or some content in some drinks that we don't need to take that could affect us too?
In terms of cholesterol or general health?
General health.
Okay, so when you talk about drinks, I will talk about the fresh juice, one that is usually homemade, the whole juice. So for example, melon. You blend the whole fruit. I'm not talking about the skin. So
Okay.
you blend the whole fruit, and it's 100% fruit juice, not the ones that are on the shelves and they say 100%. That may not really be 100%. 100% fruit juice is what has the fiber. That's 100%. If it's orange juice, you still have the fiber. And that's also another way of reducing blood cholesterol. So when it comes to juice, I encourage 100% fruit juice. Homemade fruit juice.
So a lot of fruits and a lot of vegetables. And
Yes,
good
a lot
for
of
health.
yes. I know it's difficult for most of us to include vegetables in our diets. They are not alone. Some of us have similar problems, but you know, if you want to enjoy life, you have to be healthy. So we need to make conscious efforts to consume some of these healthy foods.
Okay.
To
So
stay
how
healthy.
would high BMI affect a pregnant woman? Could it also affect the child? That woman
Definitely,
is carrying?
definitely. Before pregnancy, if you are even overweight or obese, it has implications on the pregnancy. And actually, we need to prepare to be pregnant. We usually just get pregnant. We don't think, yes, you have to prepare to be pregnant. We can talk about that another time because it's a whole topic.
Let me inform you that the phone lines are currently activated. If you don't understand something, you can call through and Helena would help you understand it. And then if need be, she'll give you the assistance that in her position she can give to you. So, okay, we currently have a caller on the line before we come to the pregnancy. Hello, good morning. Your name and where you are calling from?
Good morning. My name is Martin. I'm calling from Medina, Libya.
Okay, please go ahead. Helena is hearing you.
With all due respect, Madam Helena, I have a problem, and it's obesity. I'm 33 years old. So I went to hospital because the doctor, a medical practitioner, about it. And then after taking my BMI, he told me I'm okay. My home will respect my mother is okay. Every business activity a man is supposed to do, I can do it. I can jump, I can have music, whatever that a good man can do, I do it. But I still feel my body. I don't like the physique. I should reduce and gone down.
Okay,
So
sir,
I
you
want
said
you to advise me.
you think that you are obese, but your doctor said you are okay.
Yes.
Okay, may I know what your BMI is?
Hello?
What is your BMI, please?
Yep. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that
She's asking, what is your BMI? After you were examined, your BMI. Hello?
hello?
Yeah. Helena is asking that after you were examined, what is your BMI? We are sorry, we lost him, but we would encourage him to call back so that Helena can give him the assistance.
I couldn't hear him very well.
Yeah, but he was talking about he went to the hospital and then his BMI was high. The doctor, they gave him some medications, and after taking them, he went back and doctor says that he's okay now. but he thinks that he's obese, he's overweight and wants to lose weight. So what should he do?
Okay, so first of all, we need to know what his BMI is, and then we need to know his weight currently and his height, and we set a target BMI for him and we work on it. So
Okay.
once we know his current nutritional status, we set a target for a healthy BMI, and we take his diet history and his lifestyle, maybe how active he is. We take a family history. Sometimes it's genetic as well. That's why some people need to be extra careful.
Okay. All right. So we're wrapping up, but let's conclude on the pregnancy, obese and then pregnant.
Okay, so I was saying we need to prepare to be pregnant. If you are overweight or obese before pregnancy, it means that you're likely to have poor pregnancy outcomes. You can even have stillbirth. You can have preterm deliveries or preterm births. You can have a low birth weight baby. You can have implications like complications during pregnancy. You know, there is gestational diabetes.
Okay.
You are likely to have that. There is preeclampsia, high blood pressure at 20 weeks. And there are so many complications that can arise. However, I must say that if you have a healthy pre-pregnancy weight and you get pregnant, there's a necessary weight gain. So over the 3 trimesters, the pregnant woman is expected to gain about 12 kilograms to 14 kilograms.
Okay.
However, if you have excess weight, then that's a different story altogether. You need to be
But how would it
managed.
affect the child in the womb? How would it affect the child in the womb?
There could be growth retardation, and once the mother is suffering, you know that the baby is also suffering. It has implications, and when these conditions set in, it's difficult for the mom to eat well, and that could really impact on the baby's health.
And then being underweight and getting pregnant.
That is also another issue. Yes, the person is likely to have preterm births because the baby may not grow well. If you are underweight, you are probably not eating well. And if you are not eating well, you are not getting the nutrients you need. The baby is also not getting the nutrients they need. So you are likely to have preterm delivery. You are likely to have low birth weight babies. And for the overweight mothers, they are likely to have a CS, a cesarean section, because the baby might be too big for the normal delivery.
All right, all right. Our time is up. We have to be going. But
Yeah.
So what advice would you give to viewers out there?
All right, so the advice I'm going to give is that your BMI is your health status, and you need to know your BMI. It's not expensive, it's affordable, it's convenient, it's non-invasive. So it's something that we all need to know. It's
Before you wrap up, we have a caller on the line. Good morning. Your name and where you are calling from?
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, your name and where you are calling from, please.
Good morning. This is Suleiman calling from Apache.
Okay, we are listening, sir.
Yeah.
Helena is ready.
Yeah. Please, I want to know, is it possible that somebody's BMI will be more than 25 and the person is normal? Like the person is not overweight and the BMI is also lesser than 25. Is it possible?
Okay. Okay,
Okay, so that's a very good question. You know, BMI is an indicator. It's supposed to tell us how much fat one has in their bodies. But it also has a limitation because some people are muscular and some people have heavy bones. So it may tend to overestimate their BMI. That's why you need a professional. If you think that you are muscular and it's not fat that is contributing to your weight, if you think you have heavy bones, and some people too are very tall, so it doesn't mean that they have excess fat in their body. So yes, it's possible you may have a BMI of 25 and you may be normal, but BMI has proven to be a very good tool for estimating excess body fat.
All right, all right. So
That's the first question. And then I may like to ask again.
okay.
Yeah, but like the vegetables you talk of.
The what?
The
Can
what?
you please give us the vegetables? You said like it's very good to be eating vegetables.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, and then I want to know, like, can she give some kind of like examples? Like, you know, with those from villages, they don't actually know when they say vegetables. They will just think like maybe it's just about leaves. So if you can clarify it for them. So
All right, all right. Thank you very much. All right.
Okay, so let's look at our own localities. When we say vegetables, we are talking about what we have. Kontomire, our yo-yo, you know, our lettuce, our tomatoes,
Cabbage,
our carrots, green pepper. Yes, they are all helpful. Yes.
All right.
And if you are overweight, you need to include a lot of vegetables in your diet. If you are eating like 3 ladles of rice, I will encourage you to reduce it to 1 ladle of rice. You can add 2 ladles of vegetables instead, and that will help to reduce, because then you'll be consuming less calories.
All right. All right. Thank you very much. It's been exciting, and
You're
we
most
all have
welcome.
learned a lot talking to you, Helena, in the studios this morning. So your BMI is very important. So I would encourage you that if you have not checked your BMI yet, go to check it. And if you are underweight, please contact a specialist. If you are overweight, contact a specialist. Know that your BMI should not be less than 18.5. if you are between the ages of 18 and 65 years, and it should not be more than 24.9 kilogram per meter square. So this is So Rush Hour. We'll be back shortly after this break.